This video contains sample clips from the course Signed Numbers Part 3. It's very important to remember that we only use this procedure when the signs of both numbers are the same. The result is because both of the original numbers had the same sign. Going on with our calculation, we use absolute value to calculate the magnitude or size of both numbers. The absolute value of the first negative number, a -2, is equal to a +2, its opposite. A -2 times a -3 equals what? If the multiplication were represented with arrows, the final point would be 6 spaces in the positive direction. A -4 times 5 equals what?
Nicely done.
The correct calculator expression for a -3.5 is
Good. The correct calculator expression for -3.5 is d, negative of the quantity 3.
Let's look at our pattern. The negative or opposite of an expression is equal to a -1 times the expression. Left-click and drag the matching statement in List B over to the correct statement in List A. An exponent only works on the base number or expression immediately the exponent. A -3 squared, or a -3 to the second power, as written here, equals what?
Correct. A -3 squared, as written here, is equal to -9.
Left-click and drag the matching statement in List B over to the correct statement in List A. If we have a first expression divided by a second expression, Rule 18 says that this can be calculated as the first expression multiplying times the reciprocal, or 1 over the second expression. Dividing by an expression is defined as by the reciprocal of the expression. Left-click and drag the matching statement in List B over to the correct statement in List A.
Good. 8/4 is equal to 8 times 1/4.
We need to add 6 of these arrows because we want to represent 6 times 1/3. So we have 1/3, a second 1/3, a third 1/3, a fourth 1/3, a fifth 1/3, and a sixth 1/3. But this is not the final result of our calculation. Remember, this value represents 6 divided by 3. We want the value of a -6 divided by 3. We want the opposite of this value as our final result. And the opposite of the +2 is a -2. And that is our final calculation value. When you are done copying your notes, be sure to click on Next to continue with your work. To our division examples, A negative 6 over a negative 3 equals what?
Nicely done. Negative 6 over negative 3 is equal to positive 2.
It is important to remember we don't use this procedure unless we have a positive number divided by a positive number, or the situation of a negative number divided by a negative number. When dividing numbers with the same signs, the final result, or quotient, is because the signs of the original numbers were the same. When dividing sign numbers with the same signs, a negative 8 over a negative 4 equals what? A negative over a negative will be a positive. And remember, fractions are indicated divisions also. A negative 8 over a positive 4 is the same problem as a negative 8 divided by a positive 4. When we use our parentheses, we get the correct answer, a negative 2/3. When we don't use parentheses, we get the answer, a negative 1 over 24, which is not correct if the problem you wanted to do was to calculate a negative 1/2 divided by a positive 3/4. When dividing on the calculator, you must use parentheses. Signed Numbers, Part 3.